Hello, good morning. Good morning to you all. From a man who's cycled around the world to a man who got a little bit lost at backstage. So thank you for the introduction. I'm delighted and honoured to be here today representing the Body Shop. The Body Shop is a certified B Corp, which is wonderful, and it's a great honour for us. It's been a real journey. I joined the company kind of 100 years ago, so I worked for the founder, Anita Roddick. I survived, as we call it internally, the L'Oreal days, and in the last 2 years, we were now part of the Natura & Co group. So a certified B Corp, which has been a joy. You know, 2 years has been a real joy. When your family actively boo when your old parent companies come on television, or worse, at the cinema for 10 years, you start to question your life choices a little bit. What we have now is we're part of a business which is very different, and of course you can see a sign of that there. I've been asked to talk to you today, just really briefly, about our journey towards certification. So, what changed? How did we do it? And what's our biggest learning? I hope that's useful for you guys who are thinking about B Corp certification. And for those of you who are B Corps, maybe you can listen and tell us that we haven't done it the right way and how we can improve. So either way, hopefully there's something for all of us. So just starting with what changed. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Ownership. Now, the Body Shop is still a business that is listed on the stock market. Okay, that hasn't changed. That legal bit hasn't changed. But the story around our business has changed completely. When the Body Shop was bought by Natura & Co, anyone who mentioned acquisition, anyone who talked about takeover, was instantly challenged by Natura & Co's shareholders. They said, this isn't an acquisition, this isn't a business transaction, this is a partnership to drive a business to success based on the principles of the triple bottom line. So it's the biggest B Corp acquisition ever in history. And that narrative from the top, from the very top, the owners of the company saying, your focus is on profit, absolutely, but also on social and environmental impact, changed everything. That narrative changed how we feel, how we think, the freedom in which we act. And it was, from day one, the motivation for us to start B Corp certification. So that's the first thing. Ownership matters. I know we can't always change our owners, but we can certainly influence them and challenge them to be about more than just profit. So that's the first thing. The second thing, how did we go about certification? We were midway through certification, and I remember talking to B Lab, and they said something terrible. They said, you're very courageous doing this. Which, I don't know about you, but when someone tells you you're courageous, like when your mum, you're going camping with your kids, and your mum goes, that's very brave of you, you instantly start thinking, hang on a minute, I didn't set out to be brave, I was just doing what I thought was the right thing. They said it was brave because we were trying to do it in 20 countries using 14 assessments, and I think we started in September and finished in May, so it was quite complex. But there were, I think, 3 reasons that we were able to do it. The first is that in our bonus scheme, our annual bonus scheme for this year, actually, for 2019, which everyone is part of, B Corp certification was one of our objectives. If we didn't secure it, no pressure for me, if we didn't secure it, bonuses were cut. Okay? Now, that was really helpful because in every town hall meeting that we had, every financial update, it was there. Are we green? Are we amber? Are we red? So that really mattered, and it brought it into the heart of the business. The heart of the whole of the business. The second thing that helped was B Lab's verification team. Now, they were very different to the normal auditors that we had experienced. In the past, they were, I was going to say they were human, which seems a bit unfair to all auditors, but they smiled, and they were very different from especially the internal auditors that we've had. Apologies to anyone who may be in that honourable profession. But what worked well for us was that the auditors from B Lab, they were tough, they knew they had a standard to uphold, but they acted with a kindness. They acted with an openness to help us understand where we were going with B certification, and they jumped into our business to really understand what we were about. And that made all the difference with my team and their team. So again, working, the relationship between the B Lab verifiers was critical. The third thing that worked really well for us. As I said, we did this across 20 countries. We appointed to be champions in each country to lead this process, to be the ambassadors. So we had 45, some in head office, some around the world, and these guys were brilliant. A lot of them have been in the company a long time. A lot of them, like me, were focusing on certifications of B Corp to show that we are and can be a brilliant company again. We know this is the highest standard of verification. We set out to prove that we're good. And their determination and their drive really got us over the line. So appointed people driving performance. Our biggest learning was data. We'd neglected a holistic view of our business for too long. When we started verification, we found a lot of things under the bonnet that surprised us. We found we didn't have any systems that worked. We found we didn't have any processes that were really functioning. We found actually the stuff we knew we were doing brilliantly. So our fair trade program is the biggest in our sector. Proving it was a little tough because we didn't follow the rules. So a big learning for us, which we're fixing now, is fix the data systems. Fix the data systems, and our ambition when we recertify in 3 years' time is that we are going to reach for the moon and take that learning on board. So those are the three things that we learned. We are, on behalf of the 12,000 Body Shop employees, and Jane, who I know is in the audience today, we are immensely proud of this. Immensely proud of this. I think when you look at what's happening around the world, you hear from the young people, which is truly humbling. Business needs to stand up, not just in operating a better business, not just in standard CSR, which is not taking us in the right direction. We need to drive systems change. I think we all need to be activists, and for me, I think the platform for activism and a better business and a better world is becoming a B Corp. We have, of course, signed the Declaration of Interdependence. It's going to be in all of our stores around the world. Everyone is signing it, and it's going to be in all of our offices. But our commitment to you all, members of the B movement and members who are considering joining, is that won't just be paper. It will be a living, breathing guide for how we run the Body Shop moving forward. Thank you very much.